What's going on, guys? Blade the Striker here. Today I will be giving you the top 5 best mid lane champions to pick in solo queue to carry yourself from any elo. Starting at number 5 we have Syndra. The thing that makes Syndra so powerful is her spammable Q. It does a lot of damage and is on a very short cooldown. It does 15% bonus damage to champions when it is maxed. Because of this short cooldown, especially in the early stages of the game, she can use it to harass enemies in lane directly from level 1. She has decent wave clear with QWE combo, however it does use a bit of mana, so it's not recommended to spam it. She has immense burst with her ultimate, as it does more damage for the more spheres you have lying on the ground. It is also a very short cooldown compared to other ultimates, which makes it easy to constantly be ready to 100-0 the enemy carries for every team fight. You can also pick off enemy champions very easily with a medium cooldown area of effect stun, and follow that up with her slow, and you can easily catch out enemies and make the comebacks. The downside to Syndra is that she is very squishy, of course, uses lots of mana, especially as the game goes on, and does not have much burst without her ultimate. Alongside that, she's quite difficult to master as you need to be positioned perfectly since she has no mobility whatsoever, and needs to have all of her abilities land on the right targets. Overall, Syndra has the potential to catch out any enemy champion, especially late game. If you're coordinated enough, you can destroy any champion with her immense 100-0 potential with her ultimate. At number 4, we have the annoying little shit Fizz. He hits huge power spikes in lane, mainly speaking of levels 3 and 6. He has around a 7-second cooldown on his E when maxed, which makes him untargetable and does an area of effect slow and damages the enemy team, all in one ability. He has insane mobility with his E and Q and high potential to one-shot any carry, including tanks. He just has overwhelming magic damage, and with his percent of health damage over time, it's difficult for even the biggest tanks to fight against him. The bad parts of Fizz, and yes, he does have downsides, is that if you make the slightest misplay on him, then you're probably screwed. Even though he does stupid amounts of damage, if you get caught without your E up, then you'll die in a heartbeat. He also has some rough matchups, mainly versus people who can evenly burst or outburst him like Syndra or Akali. However, once Fizz gets items and levels, these become more skill-oriented matchups. Also, making slight errors in lane will get you punished for a long-lasting time. Fizz doesn't have a huge mana pool at the beginning of the game, so whiffing your ultimate or trickster can really take a toll on the rest of the lane. Overall, Fizz has insane mobility and damage, and alongside that, he has an untargetable ability which makes it almost impossible to stop Fizz before he can blow up any champion of his choosing. Coming in at number 3, we have Katarina. The reason Kat is so good, especially in solo queue, is because of her immense team fight potential and resets. She can easily jump into a team fight with Shumpo and pick up a few kills, then Shumpo away with her reset passive, unharmed. Shumpo is already on a short cooldown, especially when it has all 5 points put into it, so pairing it with a reset whenever you get a kill or assist makes Kat a very tricky and slippery champion to get to. A good Kat will wait a few seconds after team fights break out to let the enemy CC be used, then go in and ult when they have nothing to stop her. If Kat can let the entire 2.5 second duration of her ult go off on all enemies, you're sure to win the team fight. However, this can also turn out badly if you get crowd controlled while in the middle of your ultimate. If you do not have your ultimate, especially during team fights, it makes it difficult to become that team fight monster that people are oh so afraid of, and especially hard to get resets. Not getting your resets in fights will basically render you useless as you lose out on over half of your damage. Kat's QWE combo more than likely will not cut it alone to get your resets back. Katarina can also be easily harassed and zoned from farm and lane since her Q cooldown, Bouncing Blades, is on a high enough cooldown where she can't use it to hit every farm and lane. Overall, Katarina has potential to easily carry games by bursting down the entire enemy team before they know what hits them. Coming at number 2 spot is Zed. His shadows give him insane mobility and can really psych people out mentally, and they'll have no idea where you go. His burst damage is insanely high from his Deathmark and Blade of the Ruined King active, and can guarantee you a kill if you can land the Razor Shurikens on the Deathmark target without its damage being reduced from other units. Because of this insane Deathmark burst, this makes him an insanely powerful duelist, possibly one of the strongest in the game alongside Vayne. Because of him being a powerful duelist, this also makes him a great split pusher. It will normally take at least 2 people to come and stop a fed Zed from split pushing, buying your team time to get Baron, Dragon, or shove any other lanes. He also runs on energy, which means you can spam your abilities in lane without worrying too much about the cost. However, be wary of the fact that if you have no shadow, especially in lane, it's difficult to escape ganks. Zed also has a very high skill cap and will take a lot of practice to use him to his fullest potential, especially when 1v1ing someone. Hard crowd control will also render him quite useless in fights. However, you shouldn't worry too much about this unless you plan on team fighting with Zed, which is also a viable strategy other than split pushing. If Zed has too much crowd control onto him, he will not be able to correctly use his shadows. The timing would be off, and that will easily get him killed. This leads into the point that it is very easy to misplay on Zed, as one shadow in the wrong direction or death marking the wrong target in a cluster of enemies can really turn the tides of a fight, either in your favor or the enemy's. Therefore, you need to be cautious on Zed at all times. However, it is possible to burst down carries within a matter of a second and give your team the advantage you need from any point in the game. And at number 1 we have Akali, the most stupid champion in the game, and I will explain to you why she's insanely broken. Akali has stupidly high burst with her QE proc, and then auto attacking after using your gap closer on Akali will melt any target, tank or not. It is pretty difficult to build resistance against her. She deals magic and physical damage. However, it's not too overpowered since most of her damage comes from magic damage. It is almost impossible to escape from her with 3 charges of her gap closer, and she gets an extra charge whenever she gets an assist or kill on an enemy champion. Her sustain is also very powerful as she heals health back for all that damage she's dishing out. She has built-in spell vamp in her kit, her passive. However, buying a Hextech revolver will give you enough sustain to stay in lane forever. She only needs 1 item to be very powerful, and it is very easy to play. No skill shots are involved in her kit, so all you need to do is make sure you have your timing and combo down pat, and it's guaranteed an enemy champion will die. The downside to Akali is the fact that she has a difficult laning pre-6. She has no gap closer to proc her charges on, so it's difficult for her to get her full burst off on ranged champions. However, laning against melee champions as Akali pre-6 is very noticeable, as it is mainly a passive farm lane, and Akali will almost always come out on top in the end as she scales insanely hard with a single item. She has minimal CC, all she has is her shroud, which slows enemies and speeds up teammates, and of course makes her invisible. Even though it is helpful, it's not powerful enough to really make a difference in the game. Pink wards also reveal her in her stealth, so it's very powerful if you can reveal her while she's waiting for her cooldowns to refresh, as she is insanely useless without her gap closer and reset potential. So that's it for this video, and I hope you guys learned a lot. These are the top 5 best mid lane champions for SoloQ. These champions are not only ordered in my personal opinion, but I put lots of research into powerful mid laners for patch 4.21. This is the conclusion and best list I came to. If you can learn to master all of these champions, I have no doubt in my mind that anybody can carry themselves out of any division with the right mindset. Thank you for watching, and if you guys did learn something, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It really helps me out and lets me know you guys want to see more tier lists like this or any other League of Legends videos. So thanks again for watching, and until next video, I'll talk to you later. Peace.
Oh my god.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Running for Rek'Sai.
Oh my god! Do something!
I can!
The Blitz!